There is a legendary group of characters who have discovered the ultimate life hack. They just stopped thinking. List of Nickelodeon characters with lots of optimism, but the lowest IQ. Today we are counting down the Nick icons who prove that ignorance is bliss isn't just a saying, it's a superpower. We're looking at the characters with the absolute lowest IQs, but the highest levels of pure, unadulterated optimism. We're talking about the literal thinkers, the chaotic spirits, and the specialized savants who are too kind to be mean, even to their own reflections. But stay tuned for the #1 spot, because we're settling the ultimate debate. Is it really Patrick Star who wears the crown of the lovable idiot? Or is there a magical being who is, quite literally, as dumb as rocks? Pack your snacks and leave your brain at the door. These are the Nickelodeon characters with maximum heart and zero logic. But before we get into the video, kindly subscribe to Animated Memories for more content like this. If there was a Hall of Fame for characters who are completely head empty, heart full, Heffer Wolfe from Rocko's Modern Life would have his own VIP wing. Heffer is the gold standard for loyalty over logic. I mean, let's look at the facts. He is a 400-pound steer who was adopted and raised by a family of wolves. Now, a high IQ character would realize that his family originally invited him over for dinner as the main course, but not Heffer. While the wolf family was sharpening their knives, Heffer was just happy to have been invited to a party. That's not just optimism, that's a level of denseness that actually becomes a superpower. Heffer's low IQ is basically his plot armor. He doesn't just miss the point of a situation, he's playing a completely different game on a different planet. He isn't stupid in a mean way. He's existentially confused but emotionally content. Whether he's trying to hatch a thimble because he thinks it's an egg, or accidentally joining a cult because he thought there'd be free snacks, Heffer proves that you don't need a high IQ to be the most lovable person in the room. He treats life like one big, confusing, delicious buffet. And honestly, we should all be a little more like Heffer. We've all heard the tropes. Leo is the leader, Raph is the muscle, Donnie is the brains, and Mikey? Well, Mikey is usually labeled the lovable idiot. But if you look closer, Mikey's low IQ isn't a weakness, it's the glue holding the entire family together. In a world of literal mutant ninjas living in a sewer, life is heavy, but Mikey operates on a level of pure-hearted defiance. While his brothers are spiraling over Foot Clan plots or world-ending tech, Mikey is worried about the perfect pizza topping. To some, that looks like a lack of intelligence. To fans, it's a necessary escape. Mikey isn't actually dumb. He just refuses to let the trauma of their lives break his spirit. He chooses to stay a kid because if he didn't, the team would lose its heart. Exactly. Mikey is the emotional anchor. He's the guy who cracks a joke in the middle of a losing battle, not because he doesn't understand the stakes, but because he knows his brothers need a reason to keep swinging. Think about it. Being the dumb one in this context is actually a superpower for morale. He creates a vibe shield. He's the only one who can turn a damp sewer into a home. Whether he's naming a pet ice cream kitty or inventing a new, and probably dangerous skateboarding trick, Mikey proves that you don't need a high IQ to be the most emotionally intelligent person in the room. He's the proof that sometimes the smartest thing you can do is just stay happy. When you think of a secret agent, you think of James Bond or Ethan Hunt. You probably don't think of a guy who still lives with his mom and gets distracted by his own tail. Enter Dudley Puppy, the muscle of TUFF, and the living definition of arrested development. Dudley's low IQ isn't just a character trait, it's a byproduct of being raised in bubble wrap. He is the overcoddled hero. Because his mom sheltered him from every possible danger growing up, Dudley entered the adult world with zero cynicism and even less common sense. Dudley has the physical stats of a god. He's every dog breed combined, but his brain is stuck in toddler mode because of his helicopter. Exactly. His optimism is his literal shield. He doesn't get scared during high-stakes missions because he's too busy being excited that he's helping. He views the world through the lens of a good boy. To Dudley, villains aren't terrifying masterminds, they're just meanie pants who haven't had a nap yet. While his partner, Kitty Catswell, is playing 4D chess, Dudley is playing Go Fish with half the deck missing. But that's why he's essential. In a world of cynical spies and bitter villains, Dudley's aggressive positivity is disarming. You can't intimidate someone who doesn't understand they're being threatened. He's a reminder that sometimes, the best way to save the world is to be too puppy-brained to realize you're supposed to be afraid of it. In a house with 11 siblings, you have to find a way to stand out. For Leni Loud, that usually involves walking into a wall because she was distracted by a really pretty butterfly. But don't let the airheaded exterior fool you. Leni isn't just dumb, she's a case of specialized intelligence. Leni is the fashion savant. Her brain is like a high-end computer that's 99% full of fabric textures, color theory, and sewing patterns. There's just no room left for things like basic physics or how to open a door. She is so purely optimistic that she's literally incapable of being mean, even to her own reflection. Leni is the moral compass of the Loud family. She's the only one who is genuinely too nice to participate in the sibling chaos. Her IQ might be low, but her EQ, emotional intelligence, is off the charts. That's the secret to Leni. She represents radical empathy. While her sister Lisa is busy being a literal child genius, Leni is the one who keeps the family's spirits up. She doesn't have a mean bone in her body. If you told Leni to break a leg, she'd probably buy you a designer crutch and a matching cast. She's proof that being smart isn't just about math and science. Sometimes, being a genius at being a good person is the most impressive skill of all. Leni might fail every driving test she ever takes, but she passes the vibe check every single day. We've all known someone like Drake Parker. He's the guy who can talk his way out of a speeding ticket, win a talent show without practicing, and convince his brother to do his chores, all before lunch. But when you peel back the layers of cool, you realize Drake is operating within a charismatic void. Drake doesn't just lack book smarts, he has a completely unique relationship with the English language. This is a guy who looked at a map and genuinely thought South America was pronounced
South America.
He isn't trying to be funny, he just truly, deeply does not know. Drake is the ultimate proof that social IQ and actual IQ are two completely different stats. He put all his skill points into charisma and guitar and left general knowledge at 0. That's the brilliance of his character. Drake succeeds through pure vibes. While Josh is spiraling, overthinking, and studying for 14 hours, Drake just smiles, plays a power chord, and somehow things work out. He doesn't need logic because the universe seems to bend to his confidence. His optimism isn't a choice, it's a byproduct of his ignorance. He doesn't worry about the future because he barely understands the present. He's a reminder that sometimes, life is a lot easier when you don't know enough to be worried. He's the king of the loophole. He might not know where South America is, but he knows exactly how to make you forget he didn't do the geography project in the first place. We've talked about characters who are blissfully unaware, but Sheen Estevez is a different breed of low IQ. Sheen is the ultimate case study in knowledge versus intelligence. If you want to know the aerodynamic properties of a rocket or how to survive in the desert, you're out of luck. But if you need to know the backstory of Ultralord's third cousin from Season 4, Sheen is your man. Sheen is a hyperfixated dreamer. His brain isn't empty, it's just completely full. He's like a computer with a massive hard drive that is 100% occupied by junk data. This is a guy who is so distracted by his own imagination that he literally accidentally flew a rocket to another planet. Exactly. His optimism isn't just a mood, it's a lifestyle choice. He doesn't see danger, he sees a side quest. When he gets stranded on planet Xenu, he doesn't panic. He doesn't think, I'm millions of miles from home and might never see my family again. He thinks, sweet, I'm the king of the aliens now. He is proof that being the dumb one is often just a matter of perspective. In a classroom, he's a disaster, but in his own head, he's the hero of a galactic epic. Sheen teaches us that as long as you have a hobby you're obsessed with and a best friend with a rocket ship, the world and the galaxy is your oyster. He might not have common sense, but he's got enough passion to power a small sun. If the other characters on this list have low IQs, Cat Valentine has an IQ that is simply on another frequency. She doesn't just walk through life, she vibrates through it. Cat represents a very specific brand of airheadedness, the emotional high. For Cat, logic is an optional DLC that she never bothered to download. She operates entirely on sensory input. If it's pink, soft, or tastes like red velvet, she's all in. But ask her to use a GPS or understand a basic social cue, her brain essentially hits the 404 error page. Cat is the definition of no thoughts, just vibes. She has zero sense of self-preservation. She's the kind of person who would walk into a lion's den because the lion looked fuzzy. That is exactly why we love her. She lacks any sense of danger because her optimism acts like a sensory filter. She lives in a world of constant wonder, which makes her the ultimate sensitive soul. While everyone else in Hollywood arts is stressed about their acting careers or dating drama, Cat is off in her own world, probably wondering why her hair smells like Bibble. Her low IQ isn't a handicap, it's a shield against the cynicism of the real world. She is so purely, aggressively happy that she becomes untouchable. She's proof that sometimes the smartest way to live is to just stop thinking and start feeling. She's the heart of the show, even if that heart is occasionally distracted by a passing balloon. If you grew up in the 90s, you know that Ed isn't just a fast food worker. He's a philosopher of the obvious. While most characters on this list are airheads, Ed is what we call the literal thinker. He isn't stupid in the traditional sense. He just takes the world exactly as it is presented to him. If you tell Ed to keep an eye on the fries, he won't just watch the timer. He'll probably press his face against the glass until he's cross-eyed. He doesn't have a filter for sarcasm or subtext. To Ed, the world is a simple place where words mean exactly what they say. It's a level of honesty that most of us lost in kindergarten. The best thing about Ed is that his IQ triples the second his friends or Good Burger are in trouble. He's a tactical genius, but only when it involves a spatula or Dexter. And that is the Ed paradox. Never underestimate Ed when his friends or the burger are involved. When the villainous Mondo Burger threatened his livelihood, Ed didn't just sit there. He led a stealth mission that would make James Bond jealous. His optimism isn't a weakness, it's his fuel. Ed is the literal heart of gold. He lives in a constant state of the now. He doesn't worry about the past or the future. He just wants to make sure your shake is cold and your burger is good. In a world that's constantly trying to be smart and edgy, Ed is a refreshing reminder that being a dude who cares is more than enough. He might not understand your jokes, but he'll always have your back. And honestly, that's the smartest way to be. Now, let's talk about the pink elephant in the room, Patrick Star. Most people see a guy living under a rock and think he's just the king of idiots. And sure, one Reddit user pointed out he literally forgot how to eat once. But Patrick's low IQ is actually his greatest gift. He has mastered the art of Zen. Because his brain isn't cluttered with logic or consequences, he is the most content creature in the ocean. While Squidward is miserable because he's smart and refined, Patrick is having the best day of his life just staring at his own hand. I actually hard disagree with Patrick being number 1 on the dumb list. Why? Because Patrick's optimism is a choice. He's shown flashes of brilliance, he's been a secret agent and a refined scholar. His dumbness is a state of total peace. He isn't dumb as rocks. He's just retired from thinking so he can focus 100% on being happy. He doesn't have a no-brain biology, he has a no-stress biology. But if Patrick is a secret sage, then Cosmo is the undisputed king of the lowest IQ. For 10 straight seasons, Cosmo didn't just lack logic, he actively fought it. Here's the thing, Cosmo is dumb as rocks. Literally. He is a 10,000-year-old magical being with the IQ of a lukewarm ham sandwich. But his optimism is his life force. Because he doesn't understand danger, he is never afraid. Because he doesn't understand social norms, he is never embarrassed. That's the peak of his character. Cosmo's brain is a literal void where common sense goes to die. But that void is filled with pure sunlight. He will turn his own head into a cheese wheel just because he thinks it'll smell neat. While Patrick is a master of Zen, Cosmo is the champion of the Head Empty, Heart Full Club because he is the only character who can cause a magical apocalypse and still be the happiest person in the room. So there you have it, the Head Empty, Heart Full elite of Nickelodeon. Whether it's Leni Loud's fashion-based genius or Ed's literal heart of gold, these characters prove that you don't need a high IQ to be the most memorable part of a show. But I want to hear from you. Did I get it right? Is Cosmo truly the king of the Dumb as Rocks Club? Or do you think Patrick's forgot to eat moment is enough to keep him at number 1? Drop a comment below with hashtag Team Cosmo or hashtag Team Patrick and let me know who your favorite lovable idiot is.